Hey, Moon Tribe. Hey, Moon Tribe. I'm just testing here the audio with my music. Just testing the audio with my music. Mm, just testing. Sounding good. We got 8-bit Mike monitoring in the chat. What? So we have the new moon in Leo with this solar eclipse season coming up on the 12th. I know I'm a little early for the moon tribe, but we have things to do, things to plan, and wanted to get ahead of this rather than on top. Has it been intense for you? How have your dreams been? Have you been sleeping well? Definitely let me know in the chat. If you're new on the live stream, welcome. My name is Fedra, and this is a collective reading for this beautiful new moon in Leo coming up on August 12th. These are collective readings for everyone. You may or may not identify with the Leo, but you have Leo placements in your chart. So it's a fiery season and it's going to be magnified. Yeah, thank you, Mike. Music is on the top as it could be. And definitely, Mike, if you have any questions regarding the eclipse too, let me know. I know you've been kind of learning as you go with astrology with me and my mother. And it's definitely a hobby of mine, but I do not identify as an astrologer. I think in order to be a well rounded astrologer, you need to study at minimum 5 to 7 years. It's just my opinion. It is a complete language, it's beautiful. Definitely can change your life. Once I got my natal chart reading done a long time ago, it definitely changed my life. And since then, I've had several astrologers translate my chart. And depending on where, Leo is in your chart, it may magnify, it may not magnify. There's a lot of things going on when it comes to that. And I'm just pulling it up. I wanted to, for the first time, kind of go over what one astrologer wrote very beautifully in a newsletter that I follow. And his name is Daniel Fiverson. And he wrote a lot about in Leo the aspects of politics and how it may be moving, especially when he went over with Mercury being conjunct with Jupiter, which is in career, Mercury is in communication. And then with the Pluto in Aquarius, which Pluto is known as the soul, and we are in the age of Aquarius. But I won't dive into all of that because many of you may be new to astrology. So I'm only going to focus on what he wrote on a collective level. You can find Daniel Fiverson. He is a professor as well as an astrologer. And I think one of the most eloquent ones that I've come across so far in my life. So he wrote in regards to the eclipse here with Leo. He said, on a collective level, this eclipse may weaken the public appetite for a heroic leadership. People may become more skeptical of charisma without competence. They may demand transparency and independent oversight. Courts and legislature could become central to the outcome, and civil servants and journalists may also play decisive roles. On a personal level, the same pattern may appear in a workplace or family. A person in charge may protect an image of competence while others manage the consequences. Someone may leave a role that has become hollow. Another person may be asked to lead after the current authority fails. The eclipse will affect everyone differently according to the individual birth chart. Its general message is still clear. Leadership based on image is being tested by facts. Misconduct may be exposed, and incompetence may become harder to hide. A threatened leader may attempt to hold power by weakening the rules meant to limit it. The outcome depends on whether people remain focused on evidence and structural reform. If attention becomes trapped in another contest between personalities, then the same pattern will return under a different name. So let's look at the aspects of Leo. Leo is the great lion, right? Lion of the pack, you know? But it cannot really survive on its own. It really needs its pack as well. Now, I'm just going to go over the traits so you all can feel this energy that is coming about in your life during this moon cycle, which is about 28 days. Leo is, again, a fiery nature. They are confident, they have a sense of charisma, almost to the point of arrogance, but it's if they worked on that. It may come from humility. They have a sense of perfectionism within them, especially with their craft and also how they display themselves. Their image is very important to them, and as well on how their image with their family and friends. Leo are very, very loyal to those whom they love. They open up their hearts, they give their hearts and sacrifice so much. When they have a certain theme or certain value or certain belief in something, they will go above and beyond for it. They persevere very much so and will protect their family by any means necessary. The Leo is always focusing on legacy. The Leo is focusing on abundance as well, to grow and sustain itself. It's again about survival of the pack. They are eloquent, at speaking at times if they don't, again, boost into that ego and come off as arrogant. Because sometimes, again, the loudest person in the room doesn't mean that you're right. The most intimidating person doesn't mean that you're whole and healed. Those types have something within them, and they think that with fear, it will produce loyalty. But fear just projects fear. I'm going to try the Animal Power deck. I recently just got it from a loyal client. And I wish to thank Gabriel for producing this for us and to enjoy. And I hope that segues into if you're open to doing a donation, please do. The link is there for my Venmo, but also my Amazon wish list. On that list, yeah, on that wish list is everything that I need to continue this channel. From my decks to sage to candles to books to further my study, uh, different supplies when it comes to sound healing that I do off the channel. So all of it, I really thank you when you support me, and that will be in the chat. Thank you, Michael. So once we start and you like what I'm putting down, just press the little thumbs up and bring me and boost me into the algorithm while I'm here. Oh, that one fell out. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. I am working my way up to 500. I am almost there, y'all, and it takes every one of you, and I really appreciate it. And if you want to find me on the full moon on the next one, which will be toward the end of the month, just press the bell for the notification. They're actually popping out on their own. I don't know if you've seen that, but that's not usual for me. I usually pull them. Okay, let's do 4. Huh? Aww. There's a favorite of mine from Zootopia. God, the first one and the second one. I love those movies. So first we got skunk. Set healthy boundaries. So a Leo doesn't really have a lot of, problem with that. A lion just roars or puts up its paw and that's about it. And circulates with, again, knowing that it's the predator, knowing that it's the leader. We have the manatee. Oh, my Floridians, look at that. Some of you watching are in Florida, maybe? Allow for gentle times. Look at that, being gentle. I'll go into the book, what it reads soon, because this is an oracle deck, but I just wanted you to see the cards first. Super cute. We got the clam, discover happiness. Yep, the beautiful pearl. The gift of expanding and opening up. And then here it is, the one from Zootopia, the sloth. Seek nature's wisdom. Maybe it's for me to go a little slower. I can't help it, y'all. Maybe that's part of our assignment is we got to watch Zootopia so we can see all the animals again. Maybe some of you are animal lovers. Maybe this is the time to get a little animalistic. Huh? Huh? Getting that primalness out as well. Showing that side of you, that passion, that, "Urgh," you know, growling a little bit. That's part of expression. I'm not knocking it. Just as skunk can remain jovial and only spray when a true threat is detected, skunk appears when it's time to put healthy boundaries into place. When people disrespect your time, energy, or emotional well being, call on the skunk to help you stand up for yourself and set necessary boundaries to protect your energy. All right, guys, we got to think about the skunk when this happens. If somebody repeatedly dishonors you, demands too much from you, or crosses a line after you've asked them not to, it's time to be clear. They no longer have the same access to your precious energy. If you feel that communicating a new boundary is the healthiest course of action, don't avoid that conversation simply because it may be uncomfortable. The long-term benefits and self-respect you'll feel will outweigh the momentary discomfort. Skunk can also be your ally if you put up way too many barriers in your life. If you tend to be overly defensive in an attempt to protect your heart, work with the skunk to reveal whether you're really protecting yourself or preventing yourself from having deep, vulnerable experiences and relationships. So we got the manatee. Manatees are incredibly large creatures, but they are gentle giants, gracefully swimming and serenely experiencing life. Manatees urge you to find a way right now to offer greater gentleness and loving compassion to your own being. There are times when you need to be proactive and energetic, and times when you need to rest, breathe deeply, and be extra gentle with yourself. To work with Manatee, place your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your lower belly. Then speak at least 4 gentle, kind, and loving statements about yourself. Savor this warm, tender energy. You can place the Manatee card on your bathroom mirror, To remind yourself to start every morning by repeating the loving statements or the invocation as you kindly meet your own gaze in the glass. So, this is actually an exercise that I actually read about with Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince, when he was going on to his journey to becoming pretty much the greatest. uh, that's what he said to himself in the mirror. He said he was going to be the greatest artist of all time. He actually had various sicknesses and actually had epilepsy at one point and was very ashamed of it. And he did mirroring about his health and prayed on the angels. And he stated every day in the mirror that he was healthy, that he was confident. And that obviously worked because he is infamous now. And it's a beautiful story. I definitely recommend to not only go read about that, but learn of mirroring. And of course, if you wish to, have a session with me on mentorship, that is just one of the exercises that I can provide when we speak. But you can always look at YouTube and look up different mirroring techniques. It's very powerful. You've heard that saying happy as a clam, and one of clam's main medicine is happiness. Clam appears to help you reclaim your personal joy by taking responsibility for your emotional well being. If you feel down, disrespected, or taken advantage of, consider what active steps you can commit to taking today that will bring about greater harmony in your life so that you can share your unique treasures. Work with clam when it's time to go deeper than what sometimes feels comfortable in order to discover what's holding you back. And sometimes anguish is a result of suppressing talents and abilities, hiding from others, and also from yourself. How can you share your happiness with the world? Sloth. Sloth represents a connection to nature and a thoughtful, intentional approach to life. When you feel overwhelmed or scattered, sloth medicine helps you tune into the wisdom of the natural world for relief and perspective. Being in nature, observing its rhythms and pace is a natural balm. Sloths make their homes in trees, and that's where they receive their nourishment and rest. To connect with sloth, place the sloth card in your pocket or bag and find a place where you can see a tree. Whether it's your backyard or a local park, sit quietly, observing all the details of the tree, its colors, its leaves and branches, the sound it makes in the wind. Like the sloth, you too can receive rest and nourishment from the tree. Yeah, guys, when was the last time you ever looked at a tree and what it was doing and all that? I can tell you it was a while for me. I've been really having a go, go, go attitude, but it's so true when we take it in. That's why I put up these flowers today, wanting to give you some roses to remind everyone to smell the roses and, take that nourishment. Everybody has been, at least some of my clients coming in have been all about career and money, career and money. And we have to at times take the time to do these little things for ourselves and not think about that, but think of the little joys that we have around our home to brighten the room, to brighten our mood even when we're working. So it's a cute little deck. I again love the animal theme to it. Still warming up to it, but I just got it recently. Awaken your personal magic. I love that it has little messages here and there. Well, as we are on this new moon, what better one than the Moonology deck? I use this all the time, you all know. And it says there's 5 of you watching, so definitely press the thumbs up and like. If you're seeing me later, definitely subscribe and like on the replay. Let's see, what does the collective have for this beautiful new moon in Leo? Look at the bigger picture, okay? Personal issue reaches resolution, prosperity lies ahead. Ooh, I just pulled 2 at the same time. Communication is key. Nothing is yet set in stone. Oh, I opened up to that one, so I'm doing that one first. Okay. New moon in Taurus. Go, Taurus. This card will come often up when you're inquiring about a financial matter. What was I just saying? This card suggests that you can have what you want, including material things, but you must believe in yourself. This comes down to the laws of attraction. Value yourself, and others will value you too. You can create abundance. Taurus is associated with luxurious Venus, and this card holds the new moon energy. So now is a good time to make a 12-month financial plan. Signal the start of a new relationship or of sexier times. And let's go. If you've been wrestling with something for a long time, the new moon in sturdy Taurus is a sign not to give up just yet. Get or give a massage. Healthy body, healthy mind. What was we just saying? That little bit of self-care really helps and goes a long way when you're working and you're focused as you do. You will soon be able to afford the thing you're dreaming of. Getting clear on what you value most will help you find peace. Take some time out to pamper yourself. And start a standing order to a savings account, no matter how small. I've been doing that. It really works, people. Just saying. Putting a little bit away each time. Communication is key. It's clear too, but it's key. Got the Gemini vibe here. A successful relationship usually comes down to one thing: communication. And the new moon in Gemini card is all about the start of a new cycle. For communicating with the person at the center of your question. Talking things through is the answer to whatever it is you're asking about. If you can't talk to that person, you can journal about it to yourself. Emails, text messages, and all other forms of communication will also help you now. If the issue you're asking about concerns a sibling or a neighbor, there's a new start coming. A time to wipe the slate clean and start over. This card could also suggest you've been too frivolous lately and needing to get grounded again. But most importantly, drawing this card emphasizes the need to communicate. Write a list of all the people you love most and see if you're prioritizing them. Time to tell someone how you feel. Don't be all in your head and not in your heart. Someone may be flirting with you. Tell me the tea. I want to know. And read more books. Nothing is yet set in stone. It's all about change, shape shifting, even that something is still developing. This card indicates that something is indeed changing and there's room for maneuver. So take it as a sign that the situation you're asking about is far more finalized. If you're not happy with the current state of play, that's marvelous. It means you can still change the course of the outcome. However, there's also a sense that the situation could perhaps be a little unstable. For some, that is great news because you can still influence it. Others will struggle with the uncertainty, but should stay with it a little longer. Either way, nothing is set in stone yet. The mantra is I know that the best will unfold for me. You're meandering towards your goal, and that's okay. Staying adaptable is the key to success for you now. Make sure you're not being led astray. Have you begun distracted? It's time to focus and stay with it, whatever it needs. Full moon in Cancer. Things are likely to get very heated as the full moon in Cancer is a super emotional sign. So there could be something of an explosion of feelings around now or surrounding your question. There's that theme again of the solar eclipse with that magnifying energy, that, you know, explosiveness that we do have to be careful with Leo too, because again, we're talking about the lion. It'll like chew through anything, that'll just have havoc. So it may be also for you to observe your tendencies to get angry and how you react to things and picking those battles and just working on maybe your delivery too. It's just coming to me for that. This card indicates an especially feminine time. It also heralds the time to deal with any family issues coming up. Nothing to worry about. It signals a challenge is now coming to an end. This card could also suggest both that a domestic matter or private issue will soon come to a head and that it's a great time to move house. The answer to your question lies in being a kind leader. This is the time for you to step up and agree to overcome your insecurities. Oh, yeah. It may be the best to move forward towards what you want in a sideways manner. Meditate to soothe heightened emotions. That's one way to overcome. Don't be clingy. Don't stop sulking. And have you had enough family time lately? That's true. When we're really focused on doing all the things, it is important to make time for family and for community. And since we're getting into those holiday months, you definitely want to check in before the actual holidays. I would recommend that. Look at the bigger picture. Are you thinking too much about the details of your dilemma? Fretting over minutia can be counterproductive. Or perhaps you're being all talk and no action. This card is a reminder that while it's good to think things through, sometimes you need to step back and look at the bigger picture. What do you then see about your current situation? What's the most positive thought you can have about it? Now is the time to count your blessings, even if you don't yet have exactly what you want. Also, a reminder that we often have to take a few risks and go with uncertainty on this journey called life. Try to keep an open mind about what's for the best. The universe could surprise you. Take time out for a mini break or adventure. This situation may have come around because you've been distracted. Be confident without being overly confident to win the day. Have you shown that you care? If not, now is the time. And find a balance between speaking your mind and saying too much. Now, before I get into the tarot, I have three different tarot decks that I pulled out. So I don't know which one I'm going to do first, but I was called to bring all three out. One I like never bring out, but that's the thing. When these messages are being delivered, you just need to trust the intuition of those are the cards that are coming out. This afternoon, I spent a lot of my time gardening. And during the 8/8, which was yesterday, that Lionsgate, deep cleaned my house. And it was almost like I was in a trance. Like I had to clean everything. I couldn't go to sleep if I didn't. It was very intense. There was this pull about just not having clutter, and I got so much done, and it felt so good. So, if you're being called to clean up in any form, just do it. Any form of organizing is clearing up space for the rest of this year. It made me want to share it because when I did the planting, I was helped with a friend, and we were talking about old memories. And you know, when people say, like, when they talk about memories that were very hurtful, and they say, like, that was a lifetime ago, some of these memories were so old to me, I felt like it was in another galaxy. And I was observing it all. I was observing the way that I was saying it, the way that I was feeling it, overseeing these memories that were pretty painful as I was being almost energetically hugged by the plants and feeling the soil. So, getting connected with the earth again. Not only did I know that everything was all right, it really showed me a lot of things I learned from those memories and from those people. Whether it's like intensity, an argument, I think, saying your piece right now is important. It's important to you. You don't necessarily have to say it to anyone. Kind of like how I was talking openly and the plants were listening. If only they could talk, guys, right? Oh my. If we could construct like a machine that has the plants actually start talking to us, oh, we'd be in trouble then, huh? You think? Something about that. It's something about relaying your truth, getting it finally out, that it just no longer has power over you. Those memories and how, those people or places or things make you feel. This is Palo Santo to bring in prosperity to further ground. Doing some spiritual baths. Just doing all of those self care things is really going to pull you into a more grounded place. And I get it. I get it that it's hard to make that space and plan, but this is where your authority is so needed to just set that in motion and just not giving a shit. Sometimes you really need to put that groundwork of what you are going to tolerate and not tolerate and put yourself first. They always say to put your mask on first. I hope that was helpful. I felt someone had to hear it. There's a certain level of peace too when you take care of plants. Watching it grow really shows you patience, a feeling again of responsibility. And again, if you're watching, definitely press the like button and boost me up into the algorithm. We are going to try the Global Fusion Intuitive Tarot. And this guy, I mean, he kind of looks like a hippie, but he kind of looks like Bob Marley. And he's surrounded by eels and fish. So it's kind of like Aquaman, but kind of looks like from Louisiana vibe. You'll see it. I'll show you. That's why this is a very unique deck. But I guess today it's a unique message for all of you. And definitely don't be shy just because Mike's around. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me about the eclipse. But definitely share what you've been experiencing. I know it has been quite intense. Everyone in my community, they're all trying to get extra time to sleep, making sure they're eating right. Like people are making changes to their habits of eating. I'm like, that's next month. How are they already on top of that? Next month is Virgo season. Ooh, 15 viewers now and 10 likes. Come on, those last 5. Let's go. Come on, it takes you all. I love you. I know you guys are like, hurry up with the cards already. Get to the tarot already. Finding patience. No, no. We're kidding. We quit. We kidding. Holy moly. These cards, guys. They're so mystical. There's a dragon. There's an eagle. There's a like lion cat, mountain cat, a pregnant lady, which is probably Empress. I think that's a bat. And I think that's a possum. So that's like the night animals. Wow. Very specific animals here again. All right. You all were like, oh, thank you, Mike. I do think I'm mystical. So here's the Global Fusion Intuitive Tarot with the guy that kind of looks like Bob Marley, but kind of looks like from Louisiana, surrounded by fish and eels. Right? You do see it, right? It's not just me. Definitely validate me. It's a very unique deck, but hey, it was calling to me, so I'm just going with it. All right. Three of gems, sticks, alchemy. Okay. Blades. Well, this looks like the knight. No, that's Kali. All right, we might be here a while. You might need to get comfortable with me because this is different. Okay, this is a vessel. Okay. No. We're gonna be here a minute. Maybe I shouldn't have chose this one, but it was told to me. So I gotta do it. I mean, there's the world for sure. So again, we're going into social media, stepping out. Oh my God, look at that. There's the lion and the bull. How could I not see that? Yeah, I'm gonna do the angels decks next, Michael, of course. How did you know? What are the top three negative things to look out for during the solar eclipse? Why are you automatically going into the negative, Michael? Why didn't you ask about the three positives? Ah, we see your consciousness right there. I would say the negative is again coming off as arrogant, very much in your ego, saying things that you regret, outbursts emotionally and being explosive. Um, not being creative. I think this would be a terrible time not to utilize this energy to be creative. Like being stagnant or sitting out completely, that would be a no. No, utilize this. Um, I think any kind of fight. So if you're going to court or arguing with someone or delegating something or having to mediate, I mean, this would be a bad time because good luck, you know, everything's going to be heightened. Okay, this is absolutely okay. Finally, Nav of Blades. Okay. The Nav of Blades has the gift of perception. The youthful aspect of this card represents a person who walks on the threshold between integrity and dishonesty. He can quickly evaluate the character of others. The mature element of the Nav of Blades card is a jaded and selfish rogue who cares little about how his actions impact others. He acts without scruple, going after his desires with no guiding principles. I know a few people like this. The Nav of Blades is secretive and manipulative. Be wary if you encounter an individual who embodies these attributes. Yeah, so it's logic, being perceptive, selfish, immoral, espionage, and manipulation. And we have the world where that's going to be seen. It's bound to be seen, and it could be public. Yikes. That might be like public humiliation or public knowing. Um, I think it's also on the threshold of deciding what type of person they're going to be ultimately, too. Are they going to actually choose to be in integrity or they're going to be honest? It could be someone that's still very immature. It doesn't necessarily mean they have to be young, but inside they just haven't developed. They're kind of, I don't want to say slow, but like they're trying the Peter Pan syndrome. Peter Pan. Yeah, like Peter Pan syndrome where they just want to live young and act dumb, but yet they'll have this level of keen and sharpness and perception that they have the way to expand themselves spiritually. So it's like it's either one or the other. Like you're going to have to make a choice at some point because you have the capacity to mature. You have the capacity to choose that the world is yours, but not through being immoral. not through manipulating others. I mean, as I said a few times on this, like, couple of moon cycles, God forbid you've done anything with scamming or con artists or fraud, anything like that. You're going to get caught out this year. You're going to be pulled out from under your bed, and like your underpants are going to be shown. Like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to experience that. Like, do better. I mean, the past was a tower. Like, some of you experienced some really disastrous things, and that also was showing you like where this is coming from. You're going to reap what you actually sow, especially with Saturn in retrograde right now. We're moving, going from Leo into Virgo season. Virgo is all about the critical, all about the details, all about your health, all about that focus. So you want to really open up in your authenticity and even speaking on that truth, maybe just openly admitting it to others. Like, yeah, I used to lie. Yeah, I used to be a pathological liar. Yeah, I used to manipulate people. Yeah, I didn't want to grow up. I wanted to stay a little kid forever. Like, really just like honing up and owning up to that. Like, I don't know, even writing a blog about it or writing a post or something to be seen on the audience that you need, but also confessing it so that you are released of that, so that you can grow up and kind of take self accountability and responsibility for your actions. I mean, whew, because you have the capacity to. We could even say that the world is the cycle itself. Some point you got to grow up, some point you got to expand. Nobody wants to stay in the 5th grade forever. And then you got to do summer school? Oh, forget it. All right, it's going to take me another 20 minutes to find this new deck. You could judge me all you want. Oh, it didn't. I found it. Okay, I'm starting to get the hang of it. All right, 9 of sticks. Usually 9 of wands here. Fortification, standing your ground, healing, recovery, restrictions, limits, boundaries, determination. Okay, so some of you also have seen that you got to make boundaries. You got to really stand your ground and find recovery. Find out that, the universe will limit you at some point. The doors will close and none of those doors are going to open. Not until you fix this part in cleaning up your own mess. Nobody else is going to clean up that mess. This card makes its appearance whenever we are overwhelmed and feeling trapped by our circumstances. Sometimes the problems are a result of our own mistakes, our own flaws. The fiery nature of the suit of sticks tells us to have courage in the face of adversity. Yeah, restrictions occur for a reason, You know. Oh, okay, okay. I know where we're going here. With Leo, there's another part of the Leo that also a few signs, Capricorn, I'm looking at you. They have to go through what is pride. Mm-hmm. Pride can be linked into that ego in a very unhealthy, self sabotaging, self sucking way. It's putrid. That's why it's getting uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. These doors are closing on purpose for you to find humility in confessing what you have done. Whatever it is, it's literally entrapping you so that your soul can literally crack open. It's never comfortable to do that. That is what we've called in the modern spiritual age of the dark night of the soul. It is the self awareness, self facing of the ego, the acceptance, and further diving into our own shadow work. It's how you self arise. It's beautiful work. It's fucking ugly. Also, it's both in that polarity. It truly is. Instead of expending your valuable creative energy and becoming frustrated, it would be better to redirect the creativity that dwells within you to make the most of the situation, either by strategizing or making an assessment. Yeah, yeah, making an assessment of who you really are. Really seeing like what you want to bring out, but do it because it is you, not because mom and dad said so, or because society says so, or because it's going to make you a lot of money, or you think you're going to be important. Like, no, that's so limiting in itself to put the value on it. Yeah, this is about value. I hope I'm bringing it in because I mean this is about the value of oneself and seeing that through, seeing the lion in you that you don't need anybody, but in being of service, you actualize by putting aside the pride that you have to be right, that you have to have the foundation correct, or you have to have X amount of money, or you have to have an X amount of title, because it is again limiting as an infinite being. Whew, I'm frustrated for this person. It's like a little mini headache right now. Because, yeah, I'm sure it's frustrating to feel so trapped when you made the trap yourself. And now you are supposed to undo it now. And you got to give it over to God. I'm not going to get all church in here. You know, don't make me do it. I don't want to, you know. This is an all loving channel. So we have the Empress. That is what's coming in the near future, which is potential, creation, abundance, fertility, earth queen, motherly, caring, love, beauty. I mean, yeah. If you don't believe in God and you don't want to call upon Jesus, call about Mother Mary, call upon the Mother Gaia. I mean, good luck. They always saying talk about Jesus this and Jesus that. Yeah, call on the Great Mother. We'll see what happens when you get the Great Divine Mother of all creation. you know, it ain't gonna be a slap on the wrist, but you will receive that divine love. You know, the Empress represents the creativity, the fertility and new ideas of Mother Nature and nurturing. She is protective because new ideas need the care to grow and become strong. The Empress shows us that the influences of the planet Venus, she possesses a shield, the counterpart to the sword, symbolic of the receptivity attributes of nature. The weather vane in the field bears the empirical emblem of the two-headed eagle, a symbol of regality and enlightenment. This empress carries the numerical value of 3. The law of nature that she presides over is that of the triangle, which is on my arm. The manifestation of ideas and the principle of attraction. Nature itself represents her throne. When the Empress appears to you in a reading, she calls on you to fully utilize your imagination and creativity to bring your ideas into the physical world. She's telling you that the creative process is a divine gift, and she shows you how alive and radiant you become from the glow of the creative process. The Empress is the embodiment of nature bringing things into being. You're going to get an idea. You're going to have creativity on how to release that. Oh, thank you, Michael. From the previous discussion earlier about the astrologer, Daniel Fiverson, here is his Facebook link. Yeah, I definitely recommend anyone here watching, definitely look at his stuff. He is a phenomenal astrologer. He's not cheap, so good luck, but he is astounding in the way that he translates. Very professional, very eloquent in how he delivers these stories between the planets and their relationship to one another. Thank you, Michael, for putting it in the chat for everybody. Yeah, you may find an idea, when we whether this is a psychological or emotional prison or an actual physical prison, people have found a way out of that. They have strived through that. And that is possible. So in the future we have the star, spirituality, clairvoyancy, vision, signs, illumination, insight, guidance, healing, clarity. Yes, we will find clarity in this time about who we are, about what we represent, about how we're embodying, how we see the universe, how we experience one another, the passions that we have in one another, how they bring out and come into fruition from our creativity of connection to source. Hands down, yes. Ancient wayfarers relied on the stars to guide them on their journeys. The North Star guided enslaved people to freedom, and the Magi were said to have followed the star. This card reminds us that even in dark times, we can rely on the guidance, illumination, insight, and inspiration of the cosmos to find our way once more. The star corresponds to our third eye and the zodiac sign of Aquarius. In a tarot reading, this card is normally seen as a good omen or trust in the future that someone that is an Aquarius is going to help you through guidance. Aquarius people get a bad rep, male and female, but they have such a lovingness to humanitarian of service. They really do. They're very smart and very keen, very critical, but they have an open eye of seeing things like nobody else. Maybe that's why they have the bad rep that they do. The magnificence of the constellations is reflected to the observer in the waters below. The true nature of the universe is thereby symbolically revealed by the principle of correspondence. That which is above is like that which is below. All things correspond. Yeah, things are going to come to a head no matter what we think we're going to do or how we're going to do it. You got to release that and know that it's divine timing. Man, you guys got me sitting back right now. Mm, yeah, sometimes you do have to watch it crumble and come down to bring in something so beautiful and full surrendering to it. It's been so heavy to hold it yourself. We have the moon, fertility, chaos, lunacy, inspiration, magic, supernatural, imagination, reality, attraction, mystical, psychic. She has the horns. That's this nice little bikini. I want to wear that, but I want to get those abs. I'm working. I'm working for those abs. Dear Lord, I will get there. The energy of this card is intended to be both attractive and unsettling because the moon's compelling influence provokes and disturbs. Human beings and the world we live in consists primarily of water. The moon controls the ocean tides, our emotions, and in subtle ways it even affects our physical bodies through the menstrual cycle for the goddesses in the house. The moon bears a human face depicting the effect it has on our moods. The imagery in this composition evokes the energy of these primal forces at work and what it would feel like to be completely enthralled by this unnerving upheaval to our reality. I mean, maybe some of you evoked chaos and you kind of evoked more than you realized. Maybe your dreams are going to help you to be more receptive. Maybe coming to terms with yourself and separating what is an illusion, what has been kind of the delulu state versus your true reality. We have three of hearts. I think that's like cups because it looks like a celebration. One day I'll get the hang of this deck. Sorry, y'all. As I said, brand new. Okay, it's vessel. There we go. Celebration, winning, team, prosper, friendship, cooperation. So there's light against the tunnel. You'll be celebrating something. This moment is perfection. Celebrate it, savor it, remember how it made you feel. Under the setting sun, a trio of young ladies celebrates a victory with each other. They represent the principle of manifestation and the law of three in this case: thought, will, and action. The girl on the left, with her hand on her chin, represents thought. The maiden in the middle, with her hand on her hips, symbolizes will. And the third young lady on the right, who appears to be speaking, represents actions. This demeanor suggests that they're friends, and so it is with great success. It is through cooperation that we prevail, and through sharing our joy with others, we can experience even greater pleasure. I think some of you are going to have to put aside doing things alone and actually get assistance from other people, people that you trust and that are friends or a community, and not seeing that as less than, seeing that that's actually the goal, and not from a competitive way, from a mutual understanding, love, and cooperation. Some of you got to overcome, but it will be a completion for sure. Burdens, responsibility, heavy loads, delegation, pressure, struggle, uphill, and some momentum. The man depicted on this card is laden with 10 sticks, bearing the fruits of his labor as his dragon spirit guide goads him forward. He has decided, he has decided to shoulder the entire burden of the workload himself. It may not be easy, but sometimes it is the only option available to us. The card shows the anguish of an uphill struggle and the tenacity of moving forward. It represents independence and initiative. When it appears in a reading, the Ten of Sticks advises you to keep focused on your goal and press forward, even if it requires more work than you had expected. You're almost there, and making progress with anything involves effort. This card also reminds us that a spiritual path is not simple. It demands effort and work as necessary steps towards our spiritual evolution. I'll on that. If I could count the times. Education, sensible, practical, methodical research, timing, dedicated, and earning. The Nav of Gems is full of youthful optimism regarding material ventures. Thankfully, this is balanced by the mature knave's practical sensibilities. The young man wears a watch on his right arm while clutching a large gem, teaching us the value of time management and planning. Mm. He also clutches the large coin engraved with the bagu to signify his deep philosophical understanding of the natural cycles and strategic timing. The mature aspect of this card is a savvy networker who is good at negotiation and brokering deals. Because there's two knights, it also means young men who are not men yet. But you are definitely growing. You don't have really a choice at this point. I'm going to clear out this energy for sure. It is heavy. Mm-mm-mm. We will get to angels, Michael's favorite, of course. And if you are enjoying the reading so far, please definitely press a like. Definitely subscribe. Might be a little loud. Next month, we have a very special surprise coming in. I am surprised myself. We are approaching 1 year next month on this YouTube channel. I think Michael and I will be coming up with some surprises. Maybe. Can't tell you when, but definitely please subscribe and press the bell for all notifications. And if you feel inclined to give, as we're coming up on this anniversary, in the chat, we also have my business wish list with all the supplies that I need throughout the year when it comes to sage, crystals, books, and decks. I use them not only on the live stream, but I also do two residencies here in Florida. I'm in Ybor on Tuesdays and then at the Bay in Brandon on Thursdays. And I also do my sound healings periodically throughout the month. Definitely contact me either on Instagram or on YouTube here. Send me an email. Happy to contact you and set up a consultation with me. Always up for a private reading. You can always email me or DM me on Instagram. I can do 15 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour, and 90 minutes if needed. Virtually, I can do that by Zoom or by a phone. What does the collective need from the angels? Raphael comes out one more time about eating healthy, I swear. Speaking of crystals, oh, most of you already know that you are clairvoyant. Yes, you're psychic abilities, awareness of those sights and sounds and signs. Trust what you see in your mind's eye, as well as with your physical sight, for your spiritual vision helps you with healing, teaching, and guidance. Heal away addictions. It's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. Ask Archangel Raphael to help you heal with this. It's very, very important now to do this, especially through the solar and into the lunar eclipse at the end of the month. You're able to make miraculous change in shadow work if you do decide to dive very deep. Goddess, express your divine feminine energy, embracing its magical intuition and nurturing qualities. Even as a man, you do need to evoke more of your inner feminine and see that self nurturing side. Or you do need to call upon the feminine and make right with the goddess. Calling on the goddess may assist with these addictions as well, because you'll be able to see the signs in your mind's eye of what is needed for you, whether that's fasting, whether that's retreats, whether that's your own practice of meditation, breath work, maybe even studying into a different practice to finally release these addictions and owning up to those addictions as well, being an example of that, finding the discipline to remove those addictions. Clear, cancel, and delete. Do spiritual bath for the love of Jesus. Use only positive words and thoughts as they're rapidly manifesting into form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. You know who I'm thinking about. I'm not even going to say anything. They know who they are when I'm talking about this negative talk. If necessary, write it down in your journal and then burn it once you have filled up the journal. Put in all negativity into that journal. Then go get anointed oil, rose oil, rosemary oil, tea tree oil, any freaking oil you need. Okay? Get it blessed by a priest if you need. There's so many. Then dabble it onto the journal once you're done writing. Just a little dab. This will anoint it so that it doesn't become a heavy, heavy journal of energy. Because, yeah, you write all the negativity in it, it's going to be heavy, right? So we need to anoint it. Yeah. Crystals. The energy of crystals supports you and helps with your present situation. I think in this advisement, it does tell you specific crystals. So I'm going to look in here and see. Recharge your crystals. Put your crystals by the plants too. Plants love the crystals love the plants. Okay, they say clear quartz can increase your psychic clarity. Black obsidian is an effective protector. Pink rose quartz opens up your heart. Amethyst raises your spiritual vibrations. It's also good to take those crystals, put them around the body as you meditate. Specific crystals you could take in the bath for that spiritual bath. The second meaning is that it relates to people who are considered crystalline themselves. That is, they are quiet and sensitive transmitters of healing energy. Most crystals are young children, so this card could indicate that you are parenting or working with a crystal child. You may also have crystal characteristics yourself, particularly if you are a gentle, soft spoken, and nature lover. So again, if you feel a line that you are very crystal-like, then you need to get more particular with where you are. I mean, you need to up your spiritual practice like you never have. Being devoted in prayer, doing spiritual baths, meditating for a particular amount of time, eating cleaner, removing these addictions, whatever they are, and really honing in on that. Watching how you think and what you say to others. Avoid complaining, avoid judging, avoid cursing. Really getting clean on that side if you really identify as a crystalline person. Because when you do that, it's going to magnify your aura to be extremely powerful. You'll be even more clairvoyant, and you'll also be a wonderful example of how you have healed from addictions. That's what we need right now. We need leaders, good leadership, kind leadership, as it's stated, especially with men in particular. The women are here. The women have been working on it for a while. It's why we're tired. We'd like to see more of the men show up because they can't. It's, do they choose to do that? Do they choose to have their addictions lead them instead? And again, how they talk to themselves. How do they treat themselves? Then they put that over onto the goddess, and the goddess is not going to accept that, and the goddess should not. Absolutely not. Especially if building a family, if building a business, if building, you know, this part of your legacy for your life, to emulate that fully is that you put it in practice, that you really believe it, and that you really speak on it because you love and you want to give love. And first, choose yourself. I think it's about time. Wouldn't you say so? When a man chooses himself, when a man chooses to embrace the universe, to embrace God, something that is higher of him, that he strives to be as, to embody that. That's not an easy feat. Even Jesus did all that he could in the name of the Father, and he was still forsaken. And he chose righteous. And who was there for Jesus? The women were. The women endured watching that betrayal of man. They were there as he bled and as he was put down from the cross. So see the women around you, wherever you are, and know that those women in your life, your mother, your sister, your grandmother, your cousins, your nieces, they all provide wisdom to you. And for the men, look to your uncles, to your brothers, your nephews. That is true, Michael. Michael said in the chat that the 12 disciples were there too, except Peter, that did deny him 3 times, but then ended up feeling guilty and was the one that buried him in the cave. And he also found his salvation by again admitting to the word in front of God. The Bible has many truths. It is not the end all be all in my life, but there is truth there. There is wisdom in all scripture. And like the card said, Maybe you need to read a few books. I'd say, as my ending, to dive deeper through this solar eclipse and balancing your creativity, enjoying your time, having time to rest, but really showcasing yourself and your authenticity, bringing out the lion within you, being playful, being creative in how you speak and how you move, and change that too. Change outfits, change communities, change groups. See how you feel as you present yourself and how you present yourself. Looking into the mirroring work could very much help. And maybe even writing down to look at how you're speaking and thinking throughout your day. I'll see you all toward, I believe, August 27th, 28th will be the full moon cycle as we move into Virgo. It will also be a lunar eclipse. If you do retreats and if you do plant medicine, this would be an impeccable time to do it in between and integrate and process. Highly recommend that. We will see toward the end of the month where we are. Again, if you want a private reading with me, please contact me via email or my Instagram or see me in person. My name is Fedra. Thank you, all Moon Tribe, for joining for the collective live reading for the new moon in Leo. If you think of someone that would need this insight, please share it. As always, please like and subscribe, and I thank you for joining me tonight. I send you love.